EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Oilers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at our visitors coming into play here. Their offense is a unit that's not... Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. The beat goes on, doesn't it? A perfect 10-0 to start the campaign.
And it's a good locker room to be in, too. Guys don't show up on game day hoping to win. They expect to win. And so far, they've yet to have a letdown.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by a longtime starter in the NFL, a former #1 overall pick way back in 2009. It's Matthew Stafford.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie. One of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On the counter, here's Williams. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. 2nd down.
Holding offense.
So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a gain of 7 on the ground. 2nd down coming up. Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And they needed to be, because the game was a game we don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game, and each play took on more importance, and they got it done.
And some room to work. And he lost the football. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. And they'll be led out by their 3rd-year quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 25 carries, 86 yards.
And as we discovered in talking with the coaching staff prior to the game, going up against a team that struggled against the run has only emboldened them to run the football more. I expect 40 to 50 carries in this game.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Here's Purdy. Downfield, and he's got Olave. Touchdown! Chris Olave with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Oilers take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Well, they said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
Extra point up and good by Garibay. And that makes the score 7-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week. And you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They run it again with Williams. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week for them. So if they can get the win here, a lot of momentum into that time off.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering if anybody's saying, boy, this is coming at a bad time, we want to keep playing, the answer can be yes. Because when teams are on a hot streak, they want to keep going. But what the veterans are telling the young guys in the locker room,
trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Ambry Thomas. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. After the interception, here's Stafford. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. Up the middle, it's Williams. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
2nd and 7. Stafford, and he's got his man in stride, complete. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
He's got a man open. It's Chase Claypool. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Here's Stafford. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Stafford. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams, there to bring him down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. Gonzalez's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach turned his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field. Now Houston's offense taking over again. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
He's up to 70 yards now in this first half receiving as he's got a first down. Purdy to throw it on first down. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. Touchdown. Cortland Sutton, a 20-yard touchdown. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Garibay on to attempt the point after. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And Cortland Sutton able to finish things off with the touchdown reception. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a give up the middle to Williams. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Bottom line, when you play a runner with these talents, you've got to be able to wrap up and get him on the ground. Or the first person who gets there, hold him up long enough for the next wave to get there and get him down. Otherwise, he will continue downfield and find pay dirt.
That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. So, Charles, you look at this offense, and really on paper at least a great situation for them upcoming. They're unbeaten on the year, an open week coming up after this. So I guess my question, any worry that maybe this is coming at the wrong time?
Oh, definitely I would be worried about this game, maybe more than any other on the schedule, because I know my guys are looking ahead to that open week. I've got to keep them focused on the task ahead, make sure they take care of business in this one. Otherwise, you're talking about a double trap. The trap of losing the game and then having the open week and having to stew about it.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. Down to the 42, second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. Purdy looking to throw. Olave over the middle. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit. Even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 16 yards, a first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop. From the 16, Purdy. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Holding offense.
So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Garabay's kick is good, and that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Looking back to that first quarter, they struggled, but now here in quarter two, they seem to have some rhythm.
And it really shouldn't be a surprise to us, because when we were in the production meetings, we asked a few of the players about, hey, what if things get a little rocky early? They all said the exact same.
Williams loses the football, and this will be scooped up by the defense. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Garibay on for the extra point. And the lead is up to 14. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense getting set again. We spotlight Javonte Williams, the running back. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter. Finished with over 300 yards on the night. Later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Stafford. Dancing to his left. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They forced incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
On 3rd down, here's Williams. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On to punt now, Anger as he boots this one away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They go play action here. Purdy trying to lay one up deep. And this one is incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
He's going to take another shot here. He's got a man complete. A huge play there for Houston. 64 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attack.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Josh Jacobs, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Oilers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. So another rushing touchdown for him this year. Boy, he's found the end zone quite a bit so far. Charles, that now an even 20 scores on the season.
And you know how often we use the term, probably I overuse the term, imposing their will? Well, these defenses have become really powerless to stop him. That's what we've seen from him and his team this year. You know he's getting the ball down here in the red zone, but he's just got that strength of will himself, and he's used it to great effect.
Extra point up and good by Garibay. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers taking over now late in this first half. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission. On 1st and 10, Stafford. He's got Hooper on the short connection. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Here's Stafford. And he checks this one down to Williams. And he goes out right around the 39. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
On 1st down, it's Stafford. Looking sideline, and he's going to have his man as he was able to walk the tightrope there for the completion. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down inside the 15. A big play there just before halftime. 45 yards. Again, it's Stafford. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. Oh, he's going to be brought down there in the field of play. And the clock will run, no timeouts. They will not have the chance to bring out the field goal unit. Past the halfway point of the season and now past the halfway point of this game. We skip halftime and get right back to the action. Set to begin the 3rd quarter. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And we will not see a return to start the half as this will be a touchback. Chris Olave heads back to the field as his guys get set for another possession. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting him, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
On the ground, Jacobs will get the 3rd quarter started. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. And his throw here's incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Purdy will set up to throw it here. He rifles one that's intercepted. picked by Kendall Fuller. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the third quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. A great play there. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Steelers take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag.
Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. Their lead down from 21 to 14, but still sitting in a great spot, up 2 scores here in the third quarter. On the ground is Jacobs to start the drive. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. And now they're in the hurry-up. Once again, it's Jacobs. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 87 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Play action. Now Purdy. He completes it to Olave. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. 2nd and 5 now. Purdy. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding. Offense.
So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Throwing here, Purdy. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And the Steelers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
So that one a disaster, a big loss there with 2nd down coming up. Back to throw, Stafford. Completion here to Claypool. It'll be a gain of 5. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey.
Offside. Defense.
Hey, baby, this ain't good enough for us.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Well, when I saw the pressure coming at him, that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts him in a pretty good spot for second down. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he's going to get this down near the 25. Oh, he didn't spike it. He faked it. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. His throw incomplete.
Nice job escaping the pocket. And boy, he took the shot downfield towards the end zone, didn't he? Trying to go for 6. It just wasn't there against that coverage. They were ready to prevent the big play.
He'll buy some time right. He'll find Sutton on the right side complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 15-yard line. Counter play with Jacobs. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
2nd down, Jacobs once more. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Purdy. Touchdown! Allen Robinson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Oilers are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
That drive, they really increased their cushion. Felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Garibay on to attempt the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it's Allen Robinson who caps things off with a touchdown. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Stafford, open man, completes it to Claypool. He's at the 30. 10. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Chase Claypool, 79 yards. And the Steelers are able to get a score back in the final stages of this third quarter. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And the lead will be cut down to 14. And they will not have time to get another play in here as time has run out. Back now here on EA Sports. For the fourth quarter, we'll begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the third quarter. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Houston set to take over. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away.
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown. Chris Olave with his 13th touchdown of the year and second of the game. And the Oilers add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, get that water break and get on out there and play.
Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. Room here to run. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
And he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the defense. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Following the fumble recovery, Purdy. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And the Steelers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. After the interception, here's Stafford. It's caught on the right side, Williams. And he's got Rome. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Mike. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Steelers have got it back to a two-score game here in the fourth. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And the lead will be cut down to 14. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. From the 10. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Houston's offense taking over again. Well, don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a two-score game. The interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw the football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw in this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off.
Purdy off the play fake. Flushed out right. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Yeah, that one going to be knocked away and incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that they pick up a first down.
And how about this, a fake? And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. How about that for a call? Leading in the second half, fake punt, but this one's going to work against them.
And, partner, I love a fake punt as much as anyone. In fact, I might love it more than other people, but in this case, probably a step too far, because not only does it not work, but look at the field position they gave up after the attempt.
A good start there on first down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores, they have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays, that will be the key to this drive.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And he will have a Steelers first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now Stafford. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford. And, oh, my goodness, he loses it again. And the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. There he goes, left side. 30. 10. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. The offense, they've had some slot. There again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
Extra point up and good by Garibay, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Able to hit his target, Claypool. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. Toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing again is Stafford. And he can't escape, and down he goes. Quentin Williams able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. Looking left side, that's complete to Oliver. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. From the 39, Stafford. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Stafford. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and as a result, possession switches hands. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. That one looks like he'll throw here. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out, and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
This is caught. It's Christian Watson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 22 yards there, a 1st down. Continuing to keep their foot on the gas, and it looks like they're just having fun out there. They're loose, they're free, and they're enjoying what the scoreboard looks like.
I'd have to say I agree with you totally. They're having a blast out there all game long. When they throw the football, they're picking up nice chunks of...
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Chris Olave. And the Oilers have 11-0 in their sights as they add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Garibay. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. One last throw here for Stanford. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.